everyone, and welcome to DD Talks, the Art of Specialty Lenses. Today we have a very special guest, Ariel Cerenzie. I've known Ariel since she was in optometry school, and I'm very excited to have her on the show today. Ariel, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, thank you for having me, Dee Dee. I'm so happy to be here. So I am from Texas, and now I live in Charlotte, North Carolina. When I moved here, I started at a private practice, and after doing a cornea and contact lens residency, it was super important to me to do a lot of specialty contact lenses at the practice. And I've been living that dream now, which has been amazing. I just had a little baby girl, little Sophie, who is 8 months old. Yeah, so we've been loving the parent life, and we also love Charlotte. It's a super fun place to live. So if anybody comes to Charlotte, let me know. I'll be your tour guide.
How fun. And I may take you up on that. So
Yes.
I know that you've been in practice and you do a lot of specialty lenses, but you really have specialized in ortho-K. So I really kind of want to talk a little bit about that and some of your experiences with ortho-K. So how do you feel ortho-K is best utilized today, and do you feel that will change in the future?
Yeah, when I think about ortho-K, the first thing that I think about is the improvement in folks' quality of life. From a myopia management perspective, you're improving their life significantly. You're reducing the overall level of myopia that they're going to have in the end, which in and of itself provides so many benefits, such as better uncorrected vision, the ability to potentially be a candidate for refractive surgery later in life, not having really thick, cosmetically unappealing eyewear. There's so many things that go into high myopia that we as, eye care practitioners just don't really think about because it's kind of the bread and butter of our practice.
Right.
And, you can do that with other myopia management modalities like atropine and multifocals, but a huge quality of life improvement is just the ability to not have to have daytime correction. And I love the stories that I get to hear from kids on how their life is different. And I love to see when kids come to the practice, how different their demeanor is. They usually are a lot more confident. So I love that. And I think hopefully as more practitioners start to do that, it will become more of a standard of care for our young myopic patients. But even those that aren't myopic, progressive myopes like our children, I do fit it for adults as well. And I have a lot of adults that really enjoy not having to wear daytime correction. Like I have a surgeon that has been in ortho-K for the last, 5 years now, and he loves not having to worry about his contacts drying up when he's in the middle of surgery. And I have a couple of boxers that are in orthokeratology. So just overall, that was a long-winded answer to you. I think it just really provides folks with a great quality of life improvement.
So you're not only using ortho-K for kids, you're also doing it for athletes and those types of patients that really just want to get rid of their glasses or contact lenses during the day. So what's the youngest you've started in a child in ortho-K, and what's the oldest that you've started in ortho-K?
The youngest that I've started is 5. I want to add something to that. The coolest patient that I've done, he actually does not have a thumb. And he is 6 years old and is in orthokeratology. And it was really cool. He was born without a thumb. And so they put his pointer finger onto where his thumb was as a baby. And so it's really hard for him to, handle the lenses. So his mom does it for him, but he's my coolest patient. That kid is really cool. The oldest patient that I have, I think is in his late 40s and still hasn't need to have any correction for up close, which is pretty cool. I think just from the optical effects of ortho-K with some of that plus that it creates in the cornea.
Exactly. Yeah. And we all have those kind of cool patients that we always keep in the back of our heads. So how do you see ortho-K and myopia management techniques changing in the scope of the practices in the future?
I really hope that it starts to become more standard of care for practitioners to think about it. I think that there is a lot of myths behind orthokeratology in terms of it being difficult to fit, difficult to troubleshoot, difficult to integrate. And sometimes, the really, really old data out there that it's dangerous. And I hope that it becomes more of the standard of care and that many practitioners offer it to patients.
Well, and I know when you first started doing specialty lenses, you did your residency and then specializing in specialty lenses. When did you find out that Ortho-K was really where you wanted to specialize? Or was it something about that really got you to moving in that direction, or are you doing other things as well?
Right. It's funny, some of the residents and I were talking one day about how cornea and contact lens residents are just kind of different types of people.
Yes.
And we, in many ways, but one is that we really love the effects that our skills have on people's life. Mm-hmm. So like scleral lenses, for example, you put that scleral lens on a patient's eye for the first time and they're just amazed with how well they see. I think Ortho-K is something very similar where, you just get this really great sense of purpose to see this child to be able to behave and operate like a child that doesn't have to wear any correction, just like their friends are. And I think that's really what got me hooked on it and wanting to do more and more of it, was just how cool that was to see that. Because you feel great about being able to change the trajectory of this child's vision and potentially their ocular health outcomes when they get older. But you and that patient and the parent don't really ever know truly what you did for them in the end. But when you fit that lens on their eye and they come see you the next morning, that's a really fun, cool experience.
Mm-hmm. I think contact lens people, or specialty contact lens people in general, get addicted to the excitement that goes along with it and changing people's lives. And it's like a golf game. I hate golf. I hate golf. I hate golf. Great shot. Now I love golf.
I'm coming back.
You have those patients that, you trudge along during the day and it's kind of routine. And then you get that one patient that comes in and it makes you fall in love with it all over again. And right. I know that's been my experience in the clinic as well. So absolutely, I agree with you 100%.
Right. Do you ever have doctors call you and say, hey, that orthokeratology lens that you helped me fit, or specialty lens, they tell you stories? Like, do you have any favorite stories?
Oh, absolutely. We get those kind of stories all the time. We try to put them out there in some of our newsletters and things like that as well. So all of the consultants have those, and we feel like we partner with the doctors to create that kind of joy, and we live vicariously through you guys. So.
Yeah, I need to do that more. I need to call our consultants and be like, hey, that really hard fit that we struggled with for a couple of months.
Yeah, exactly.
We finally got it, and that patient is so happy.
Well, and we've seen a couple of cases. Like I had one earlier this week that the patient, we were changing the lens because the patient was getting more and more myopic. It was an older patient, but they were getting more myopic. And we finally looked at it and went, something's not right here, because you've got minus over the lens with the lenses on. And we washed the patient out, and come to find out the patient had developed some sort of irregularity or early keratoconus or something, not due to the lenses, but was just going to have that to begin with. And it was like, we both had to step back and go, something's not right. Let's wash it out and start over. So we've had those kind of situations too. But for the most part, I love Ortho-K. I think it works beautifully well. And I agree with you. We're changing people's lives with it.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
So you've been in the business a few years now, not 20, but a few years. So what would you say to a new optometrist that's just finishing school, that really wants to get out into the real world of specialty lenses, and where would you kind of lean them when it comes to specialty?
That's a great question. And I think it really piggybacks quite nicely off of what we were just talking about, is to lean on your consultants. It seems when we learn in school about Ortho-K, and specialty contact lenses just in general, you learn about all of these different curves and, all of the little nuances of these lenses, and it seems quite intimidating, but everybody starts not knowing anything about these lenses. You have to start from somewhere.
Right.
And how I started was I had no idea, I knew the theories, but I hadn't really seen it on an actual patient before. And I just had consultants hold my hand through the whole process. And through their skills, I became a lot more competent, and I still call and I say, I think I know what I want to do with this patient, but can you just confirm that this is what we actually need to do? And so I think just knowing that you have amazing resources out there to use, there's all of this great continuing education. Just don't be afraid to start and do it. And you're going to be successful through one avenue or another.
Beautiful. And I absolutely agree with you. So what would be your best tips to integrate Ortho-K into a new practice, or to get started in Ortho-K in general, either for myopia management or just Ortho-K for adults?
The biggest thing that is key to our success is our team members at our practice. They are really, the heartbeat of the office. They are the ones that have the most touch points with the patient in terms of scheduling these office visits, doing the training for insertion and removal. Before that, getting really good quality images, talking to patients about, their insurance or these like program packages that you're doing. And it's so important that they're on board to know how important this moment is in this child's life, and being a team all together. And so I think, use industry to help do some training, and just really make sure that your team is on board before starting. And that, I think that's the biggest key to success in private practice or in any type of modality.
Yeah. And I absolutely agree with you. I think that's key to work as a team. I think that's the biggest thing ever. And I know as a specialty contact lens fitter that you have some artistic talent as well. So tell us a little bit about some of the things that you've done utilizing your graphic art and things like that to increase your practice.
So I really love Canva. It makes my really, I think, not great skills of doing graphic design look very professional. And I just love spending time on making little brochures, educational pieces. And also during my presentations, I love just making this very artistic, beautiful presentation. So one of the things that I did was I created this really cool flyer through Canva that I hung up at my gym, and it said, want LASIK without going under the blade or something like that. And it had this guy that was lifting weights with like all of the, dust flying. And it captured a lot of people's attention at our gym. And I actually had a couple of people interested in orthokeratology from that. And then I've also created just kind of like little educational brochures for parents that want to learn more about orthokeratology, with a lot of, pictures to kind of help explain the process and just kind of make it fun to learn about some of the more details about the science of myopia management.
Right. Well, and I've seen some of your presentations too, and they are beautiful. So
thank you.
Congratulations. I think you do a fabulous job on that.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Ariel, thank you so much for being with me today. I've missed you since I haven't seen you in forever.
Yes,
but it's been fabulous to watch you grow in the industry and become one of the well-knowns, if you will. So thank you so much for being with us today.
Well, thank you so much for having me. This was so fun.
Thanks. And thanks everyone for attending today. I have a special thanks to go out to ABB Optical Group for their continued support. Please subscribe for future episodes of DD Talks, or go to abboptical.com to see other episodes.